The makers of Camel cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. How mild can a cigarette be?
One puff won't tell you.
One sniff won't tell you.
It takes day in, day out smoking to find out how mild a cigarette is, how well it agrees with your throat. Make the sensible cigarette test, the thorough test. Smoke only Camels for 30 days and see just how mild a cigarette can be.
Here, transcribed, is Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was cold out, and it had been raining. When it got a little warmer, it would probably snow. The whole city was covered with a heavy sheet of ice, and the steam heat in my office gurgled and clouded up the windows. I was feeling pretty good. I was warm. I'd had one client in the past week, and my bank account was on its way to recovery, and a good breakfast in the drugstore downstairs had made me comfortable and drowsy. I put my feet up on the desk, leaned back in my chair, and closed my eyes.
Mr. Diamond? Mr. Diamond?
I must have been napping and didn't know it. I hadn't heard the door open, but there he stood, framed in the door, resting his weight on the jamb, and looking across the room at me with tired eyes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes, what can I do for you?
My name is Abel Gunther. I want to hire you.
All right, Mr. Gunther, I charge $100 a day in expenses.
I don't think I can pay it. I can pay you some, but I don't think I can pay you that much.
Well, that's my fee for you or a Rockefeller. I got expenses.
I see. Well, I'll keep looking. I need help. Perhaps you could recommend someone?
You'll pardon me for saying so, but you don't look too well, Mr. Gunther.
I'm pretty sick, Mr. Diamond.
Maybe you'd better sit down and tell me what your problem is.
I can't afford the money.
That's all right. Tell me about it anyway.
I think I had better sit down.
Yes, you better. What's wrong? You got the flu or something?
No. I'm afraid it's a little more serious. Would you really like to hear my story?
I think I really would.
I'm a farmer, Mr. Diamond. My home is Haiti, near Saint-Nazaire.
Haiti?
Yes, the West Indies. I was born there, raised there. My parents died when I was 13. I have a wife. She's there now, and she's the main reason I have come here seeking help. My wife is dying, Mr. Diamond. I must get help quickly before it is too late. I have a farm.
He kept talking, telling me about his life on Haiti. He told me about his farm, a fairly good-sized farm by his description. He told me how in the past 2 years things began to go wrong on his farm, and soon all the farms in the area were also having trouble.
The cane fields would burn every year. Then it was the cattle. One by one, they became sick. Then my wife, and now me.
And you don't know what's wrong with either of you, huh?
Yes and no. My Christian religion fights it, but my life on Haiti has taught me deep respect for it.
Respect for what?
Voodoo, Mr. Diamond. Oh, I know just what you're thinking. But a doctor in Haiti has examined my wife and can find nothing wrong.
Well, I don't particularly believe in anything like that, Mr. Gunther. But if you do, why have you come to me?
I said I have a healthy respect for it. I don't entirely believe it, but some of the things I've seen make it difficult to disbelieve. I came to you because I suspect a possibility of something more. Immediately after my wife was taken ill, I received an offer for my farm, a very low offer from a Saint-Nazaire banker. I investigated, found it had been made in the interests of one Arthur Cotswold.
Arthur Cotswold?
Haiti's biggest planter.
Oh. How about the other farmers?
They received offers like mine. Being the oldest farmer, the rest looked to me for guidance. I told them to wait. Then I came here to hire someone to look into the matter.
Would you like some water?
No, thank you. I'm all right.
Anyone else become ill besides you and your wife?
Yes. several others. I have $368 in my ticket home. The money is yours if you will go to Haiti and investigate.
Have you been to a doctor here in New York?
No. Mr. Diamond here's directions how to get to my farm. My servant, Little Chiva, is there. No one knows I came.
Mr. Gunther. Mr. Gunther!
Levinson Homicide.
Hello, Walt.
Oh, Rick.
Yeah. Better get up to my office. I've got a dead man for you.
Are you kidding?
That's what Gunther told me.
Voodoo?
Voodoo smoodoo. That's what the man said.
Now, steady, boy.
Oh, stop it, Walt. You know I don't believe it.
But you're going down to Haiti.
Well, somebody's got to tell the wife.
The local authorities can do that. Hey,
No, what's the matter?
the local authorities in Haiti. Why didn't Gunther go to them if he thought there was something phony about the setup?
You want an opinion?
If you can strain one out.
Well, Gunther probably didn't go to the Haiti authorities because he knew they'd think just what you're thinking.
Okay, so I'm crazy.
Well, Gunther died in my office. He came a long way for help, and the poor guy wanted to give me his last $368. So I'm going to Haiti. I'll send you a zombie. Walt promised to send a wire in care of the authorities in Saint Leger as soon as he got an autopsy report on Mr. Gunther, and I headed for the airline's ticket office. By 8 o'clock that evening, I was in an airline's flagship at 12,000 feet heading for the West Indies and Haiti. The trip wasn't bad. We landed in Miami, where I grabbed a cup of coffee and then climbed aboard a clipper for Port-au-Prince. At Port-au-Prince, I took a bus to Saint Leger, and from there a beaten-up taxi to the Gunther farm about 10 miles into the country. As we neared the farm, I could see a crowd of people standing around in front of the house. And as I climbed out of the cab and approached them, they turned, and their hushed conversations were suddenly stilled. I didn't know what it was. No one said a word. But something was wrong. I could feel it. I walked through the crowd to the house and stopped cold as the door opened.
Who are you?
I'd never seen anything like him. He was a native, and he ducked his head as he stepped out of the door to face me. He was a good 7 feet tall, or maybe more, and must have weighed close to 300. He stood on his bare feet, his long, muscled arms hanging loosely at his sides, and looked at me with dark, shining eyes.
Me, Little Chiva. Who are you?
Oh, me, very little Richard Diamond. Mr. Gunther hired me to come here.
You from New York?
Oh, yes. Mr. Gunther couldn't come back.
He died.
That's right. How did you know?
You come in?
Sure. What are all those people doing out there?
Their friend's madam. She died too.
Little Chiva led the way into the bedroom where Mrs. Gunther lay on the bed, covered with a fresh white sheet, her eyes closed in death, her face drawn and tired. Little Chiva told me she had died the day before, about 3 in the afternoon, and a cold chill ran up my back. I remembered her husband lying on the floor of my office about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the day before.
What do you do here?
Mr. Gunther wanted me to find out why the cattle are getting sick, why the fields are burning, why he and his wife became ill.
Bad voodoo.
Well, he thought it might have something to do with a man named Cotswold.
He big man.
What are those drums?
For madam and mister. They voodoo. Good voodoo. Give blessing for spirit. For madam and mister.
You see, Little Chiva, the Mr. Gunther wanted me to help him. He paid me money to help him and died asking for help. I'm going to try and do what I can.
The madam and mister good people. Teach Little Chiva. They take Little Chiva when he's small boy and make good life. You good man. Little Chiva help you.
Right then, I inherited Little Chiva. And if there was going to be any trouble, the giant servant would certainly help to make up the difference. The first thing I wanted to do was contact the local authorities in Saint Leger. The little Chiva told me my man was one Inspector Laplanche.
A very fine person, Mr. Gunther. I am sorry is dead.
Well, how'd everybody know he was dead?
On Haiti, things of such nature are never a secret. The natives know.
Voodoo?
Being a stranger to Haiti, Mr. Diamond, I expect you to be a skeptic.
But you believe in voodoo?
Let us say I have been in Haiti too long not to believe.
Well, Gunther thought the whole thing might have something to do with a man named Cotswold.
I would suggest you forget Mr. Cotswold.
Then I suggest you give me a good reason to forget him.
Mr. Cotswold is a very big man on Haiti, the largest plantation owner on the West Indies, and a self-made man with a considerable temper.
Well, thanks for the advice, Inspector. But supposing I come up with something incriminating.
If Mr. Cotswold has breached the law, it would certainly be my duty to arrest him. But I am not considering the arrest. More, the necessary steps that would have to be taken to prove the guilt. Dangerous steps, Mr. Diamond. One might trip on those steps.
And break his neck.
Yes.
You like the middle of the road, huh?
It is much easier to see what is ahead.
It's possible to get run down from behind.
I do as much as I can to prevent that possibility. Example, my suggestion, you forget Mr. Cotswold.
I left the philosophical inspector and went outside where little Chiva had been waiting. Every time I looked at Chiva, it was like a little kid spotting the Empire State for the first time. He smiled a mouthful of white teeth as he said,
The inspector, he say forget Mr. Cotswold.
That's right. What do you think, little Chiva?
I think I do what you want.
You know what I want?
You want go see Cotswold.
Think I'm crazy?
You're not afraid. You're not strong like little Chiva. But little Chiva think of all the men he know, you would fight hardest.
I don't like to fight, little Chiva.
Little Chiva know that. We go see Cotswold.
Little Chiva led the way up a long, narrow road surrounded on both sides by high sugarcane fields. Somewhere from not too far away, I heard the drums start again. Little Chiva stopped, looked off to the north. He began moving his shoulders, slowly, keeping time to the steady rhythm of the drums. He began to sing softly.
Oh hey, say Papa Nuki Papase. Oh hey, say Papa Nuki Papase.
What does that mean, little Chiva?
It means in your language, it is our Papa who passes.
Papa?
Papa Dambala, the great source.
Voodoo?
Yes. Later I must leave you. Today is Wednesday. This is the day of Papa Dambala. Oh hey, say Papa Nuki Papase.
He continued his little chant until we reached the beginning of a long, high fence running along next to the narrow road. Chiva leaned down and swung a gate open. Then we walked up the path that led through the Cotswold property until we reached the house. There, sitting back between two huge trees, was the Cotswold mansion. I walked up to the front door alone.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes, Chiva?
watch out for Mr. Jocelyn. He guard Cotswold.
Thanks, I'll do that.
What do you want?
I want to see Cotswold.
You do, eh? What you doing here, little Chiva?
I wait for Mister.
Found himself a new governor, what? You must be that fella Diamond.
I must be.
Well, come in. Mr. Cotswold's been expecting you.
He introduced himself as Jocelyn and led the way into a large panel study. And I met the big man himself, Arthur Cotswold. The drums stopped.
Today is Wednesday. It belongs to the great god Dambala.
So I understand.
Most days of the week are significant in voodoo. Will you have a drink, Mr. Diamond?
No, thank you.
Jocelyn, mix me a gin and tonic.
Yes, Mr. Cotswold.
Thursday and Saturday belong to Uzile Frida, the goddess of love.
I'll have to remember that.
I know why you are here, Mr. Diamond.
I'm glad you do.
For some reason, Gunther and the rest of the miserable farmers think I'm responsible for their trouble.
Of course you're not.
I simply tried to help them. With their cattle sick and their crops gone, I had my banker make them an offer.
Have any of your cattle taken sick?
None.
Pretty strange.
Haiti is a strange land.
Now, you're not going to start talking voodoo.
You're a stranger, Mr. Diamond. There are many things that you would not understand, and I would certainly not try and convert you.
Well, I appreciate your interest, but I intend to find out why Gunther and his wife died.
This point I would most certainly give you advice on. Go home, Mr. Diamond. Leave well enough alone.
After I come up with an answer.
Mr. Diamond, I am not a patient man. I have gone out of my way to give you some healthy advice. Heed it. For your sake, heed it.
Well, thanks. I'll let you know what I find out.
You persist in this investigation?
I always persist. In fact, I'm the persistentist.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, here are a few words about smoking enjoyment.
The things we look for most in a cigarette are mildness and flavor. You'll find both of these things in Camels, day after day and pack after pack.
No other cigarette has Camel's rich, full flavor, the flavor of costly tobaccos properly aged and expertly blended.
And no other cigarette gives you this proof of mildness. In a coast-to-coast test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days, noted throat specialists reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Make your own 30-day Camel test. Not just a puff, not just a sniff, but normal smoking for about a month. You'll enjoy every puff, and you'll know without question how mild Camels are, how well they agree with your throat.
Yes, and you'll see why. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
And now back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
I left Arthur Cotswold cooling his fit with a gin and tonic, went back to Chiva, and he led me back to town. On the way, I got an idea. When we arrived in town, I sent little Chiva back to the Gunther farm. Then I went in to talk to Inspector LaPlanche. The inspector had received a wire from one Lieutenant Walt Levinson, 5th Precinct, New York Police.
Well, I had no idea the New York police were interested in this affair.
They're always interested when someone drops dead. Now, here's something pretty interesting, Inspector. Mr. Gunther died of a disease known as brucellosis, commonly known in cattle as Bang's disease. Ever heard of it?
I am not a medical man, Mr. Diamond.
Well, it's undulant fever. Both Gunther and his wife probably caught it from their sick cattle.
What do you intend to do?
Well, I think those cattle were infected deliberately, and the cane fields burned purposely. If the cattle were infected deliberately, there must be some of the brucellosis still around, and I'm going to find it. Maybe at Mr. Cotswold's. I think you better issue a search warrant and come with me.
Mr. Diamond, the middle of the road, remember?
I think you'd better forget the middle of the road, Inspector. Unless you want me to get in touch with the authorities and have you held as a material witness in a murder case.
I will issue the warrant.
I kind of thought you would.
I will issue it, but you certainly do not think it will be enough to get you into the Cotswold house?
No, but it'll make it legal. I sent little Chiva back to collect some of his friends. They're going to help us get in that house, Inspector.
I will have no part of violence.
Oh, they won't even be with us. It would be easy to search the Cotswold place if Cotswold was out fighting a fire.
Fire?
Just a harmless fire, Inspector. But far enough away so that Cotswold will think it's his cane fields.
Oh, well, then I will certainly issue the warrant, Mr. Diamond. As long as we are going to do everything open and above board, I will certainly issue it.
Welcome back to the gutter, Inspector. The view isn't much, but you can't miss where you're going. Let's go get little Chiva.
What are all those natives doing at the Gunthers?
I don't know.
It looks like something's wrong.
We piled out of the car and pushed our way through the crowd of natives. Inside the house, we found what was wrong. Lying in the middle of the room was little Chiva. The He was almost dead when I knelt beside him.
I talked to friends. They light fire for you.
Thanks, Chiva.
Now, Dambalawedo take me.
He's been stabbed.
Nearly cut him in two. They got him from behind. Never would have faced him.
You stay. You see, wait till non tete yamort.
See what?
It is a ritual. It means taking the spirit from the head of the dead. He wants you to see it.
You stay. You believe voodoo.
All right, Chiva. I'll stay. Now, who did this to you?
Not see. In back.
He's dead. The next few hours I'll never forget. The inspector knew what was coming, and he wanted no part of it, so he waited outside. I don't know whether I can describe it, but I'll try. And even though I saw it with my own eyes, I still don't quite believe it. The natives came into the house and picked up little Chiva. They placed him on a bench, and the ceremony began. Some of them had already obtained the necessary items used for Waitiloan on Tete Yum Mort. They included several live pigeons, olive oil, 30 pieces of fat pine wood, a pair of chickens, some coarse cornmeal, and a saddle blanket, and a large white plate. Little Chiva's body was covered by the blanket, and then the pigeons were killed and cooked without seasoning. The cornmeal was roasted, then placed in the white plate. The 30 slivers of pine wood were lighted and carried by the natives like candles. Then one of the natives took the white plate with the meal in one hand and the pot with the chicken in the other and approached the fire, chanting a strange dirge. I nearly ran out with the screaming memes. As he finished the last line of the chant, the dead body of little Chiva sat straight up with straining eyes, bowed its head, and fell back.
You look a little pale, Mr. Diamond.
Well, I can't understand why. Probably because my blood's hiding in my feet.
What do you think of voodoo now?
Well, let's forget it, shall we? I haven't got the money for a good rest home.
Yeah. We are close to the Cotswold house.
Good. Let's park it here and wait until the fire starts. The inspector and I sat in the car and waited while the moon climbed up over the clouds and the drums in the distance tangled my nerves into complete knots. After about an hour of waiting, a dull glow to the south started the expected commotion in the Cotswold household, and we climbed out of the car.
Fire, Mr. Cotswold! The cane field! Fire! Get the servants! Get every man out there to fight that fire!
It had worked. The inspector and I stayed to the shadows until the last man went running out of the house. Then we went in. We worked as fast as we could. We took the place apart. And I must say, the timid inspector had really gotten out of the middle of the road. He tore the place apart like he'd spent most of his time on a wrecking crew.
I have not found a thing.
Oh, the house is clean.
There's a barn.
Then let's go. We went out of the house and headed for the barn about 50 yards away. The drums were louder now, and the dull glow of the fire had nearly vanished. It was obvious that the inspector and I had to work fast. He took one end of the barn and I took the other. We worked toward each other. Just about the time I was ready to give the whole thing up.
Diamond! Diamond!
Inspector, you find something?
This hypodermic for cattle.
That's not enough.
This bottle hidden under this box.
Well, it's more like it. Let's get it back to town and have it analyzed.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Diamond.
Cotswold.
It was Cotswold, and he had three things on his side that made the situation very uncomfortable. His bodyguard, Jocelyn, and two guns. They stepped through the open door and moved up to us.
I see you found my secret, Mr. Diamond.
This is the stuff you've been infecting the cattle with. And this is what killed the Gunthers.
That's correct. You see, you should have really taken my advice and returned to the States.
You'll be held for murder, Cotswold.
Who will convict me, Mr. Diamond? No evidence, no one to testify. I'm surprised at you, Inspector. I thought you had more sense.
Sometimes a man finds his pride and does the best thing.
You know, of course, I can't allow either of you to live.
We had a hunch. Now tell me something. Who killed little Cheever?
He was getting to be a nuisance. I had Jocelyn here attend to the matter.
What's that, Diamond?
Mr. Cotswold, look!
Well, now I want to tell you, I'd seen a lot that day, but that was just a little too much. The howl had come from the open door, and standing in it, framed against the yellow moon...
It's him! It's little Cheever!
No! But there he was, and he looked even bigger as he shuffled toward the two men, his arms swinging at his sides like two giant sledgehammers. He was going all the way. He hadn't just come back from the dead to sit up. He was taking a walk.
Get away! Get away! You're dead! Shoot him! Shoot him!
But Jocelyn was too terrified to even raise his arm. The big native reached out, grabbed him with both hands, and crushed him like an egg. For a minute, I was too stunned to move. Then when I saw Cotswold bring up his gun, I threw the bottle. It stopped him long enough for the big native to drop Jocelyn's limp body and charge in. Like an idiot, I had some stupid reason for wanting Cotswold alive, so I tried to head Cheever off. Ever try to stop a freight train with both hands out? He brushed me off, and I crashed into the wall just as he grabbed Cotswold.
No! No!
He picked him up, raised him high over his head, and threw him the length of the barn.
Diamond, he's coming over here.
Now look, old boy. It's me, Diamond. Little Cheever, please,
Me not little Cheever.
What?
I should have guessed.
Should have guessed what? What is this?
This is Big Cheever.
Big Cheever?
We, me little Cheever's brother. Me pay back for kill little Cheever.
Oh, good gosh.
I never thought
We, me big Cheever. Come, I take you back to Gunther house. Little Cheever say you good man. I be your servant.
Well, if you don't mind, I just think I'll head back for the States and lie in a warm tub of mud for the next 6 months. Tell me something, Big Cheever.
What do you want?
You don't have a big brother, do you?
Dick Powell will return in just a minute.
More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette, according to a repeated nationwide survey.
Doctors in every branch of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country, have again been asked what cigarette they smoked.
Again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Friends, try Camels and discover for yourself the reasons behind Camel's great popularity. You'll enjoy Camel's rich flavor and cool mildness pack after pack and week after week.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Friends, nothing can boost your morale like a gift, especially if you're in a hospital bed. That's why the Camel people send gift cigarettes each week to hospitalized servicemen and veterans in this country and overseas. This week, Camels are on their way to Veterans Hospitals, Rutland Heights, Massachusetts, and Lyons, New Jersey, U.S. Naval Hospital, Quantico, Virginia, and to all hospitals operated by the Far East Command of the U.S. Air Force. Now until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Men, has your pipe got your tongue? Well, switch to Prince Albert, the National Joy Smoke. PA's choice tobacco is specially treated to ensure against tongue bite. Yes, and it's crimp cut, too, for smooth, burning, and cool smoking. Get Prince Albert, rich, flavorful, and with a delightful natural fragrance. It's America's largest selling smoking tobacco.
Listen next week for another exciting transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
Here is another in NBC's great parade of new shows. Now, Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective.
Hello there, this is Diamond. I'm a private detective. And as long as I've been in this business, I've found only 4 things that really make this racket worthwhile. Women, money, women, and more money. Don't misunderstand me. I've got other habits, too. I drink lots of milk, go to the fights, dance meanest rumba west of Ebbetsfield, and write fan letters to June Allison. But no matter how you slice it up, it still boils down to the same ghastly facts. To drink the gallons of milk, you've got to have loot. To go to the fights, you've still got to have it. But you add a little something, or a big something, as the case may be. That's right, a woman. Then if you're going dancing, you like to go to a nice place. Nice place? That's an 8x10 dance floor supported by bodies of patrons who couldn't pay the $12 minimum. So now you get into more money, and there you are. Women, money, more women, and more money. About the fan letters to June Allison? No, who knows? She never writes back anyway. To show you how I make this money that gets me into so much trouble, let me tell you about a case I got mixed up in. It all started last week during a seance.
Quiet, please, quiet. Now, if you will please place your hands on the table, Mrs. Van Dyke. Lightly, just the fingers touching.
Dr. Langley, I'm so excited.
Please, Mrs. Van Dyke. Professor must have complete silence.
Oh, I'm sorry, but what's he doing?
He's going into his trance.
Dr. Langley.
He's contacted the outer circle.
I feel your presence. Who are you?
Doctor, that voice is calling me.
Not too loud. You'll break the contact.
But Myrna's my first name.
Listen.
Spirit, speak again. Who are you?
I am Lillian Van Dyke.
That's Mother. Mother!
Mrs. Van Dyke, you must relax. If you continue to disturb the contact, your mother will leave.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Spirit, I feel that you have a message for someone in this room. Spirit, have you such a message?
I have.
Then speak.
Myrna.
Yes, Mother?
You are in grave danger. Guard yourself. Rely on Dr. Langley. He will help.
Yes, Mother. What else? Mother?
Contact has been broken. Your mother will not return again today.
Will I be able to speak with her again, Professor? I must speak with her again. She said I was in some kind of danger.
If you will return here tomorrow, Mrs. Van Dyke.
Mother said to rely on you, Doctor. I intend to.
I assure you, your confidence will be rewarded, Mrs. Van Dyke. In the meantime, I suggest you go home and get some rest.
Yes, this experience has been rather trying. Goodbye, Professor. I shall see you tomorrow.
Until tomorrow, dear lady.
Coming, Doctor?
I wish to consult with the professor for a moment. I'll be right along.
Very well, Doctor. I'll wait in the car. Goodbye again, Professor, and bless you.
Goodbye, and bless you, you old goat.
Take it easy. Until she gets out the front door.
Okay. Now, look, Langley. When are we going to pull the job? I'm getting tired of drumming up banshees for old money bags. Let's get those jewels.
Look, tomorrow her mother is going to tell her that someone is after her precious jewel collection.
Tell her? She'll lock him up in Fort Knox if that happens.
Oh, I'm surprised at you, Professor. What if her dear old departed mother tells her to leave them with me for safekeeping?
I get it. By the time she gets wise, we'll be in Mexico.
Right. I'll see you tomorrow morning before Van Dyke gets here. We'll plan what we want the voice to say. And for Pete's sake, tell that old witch to sound like a ghost for a change. She came on today like Apple Mary with a hangover.
Mr. Diamond?
That's right. Come on in, but watch the clothesline.
Oh, you've been washing. Aren't these a little loud?
You should stop around when I'm doing socks.
My name is Van Dyke, Mr. Diamond. Nancy Van Dyke.
Miss?
Mm-hmm.
Well, bully for our side. What can I do for you, Miss Van Dyke?
I'm worried about my aunt, Mr. Diamond.
Why? Is she playing shortstop for Brooklyn?
I don't think I understand that.
You're not alone, but I have to keep trying. Why are you worried about your aunt, Miss Van Dyke?
Well, lately she's been seeing a man who calls himself Dr. Langley.
Uh-huh. Are you of the Long Island Van Dykes?
We used to live on Long Island. Why?
Well, if you're the same family, you say piggy bank instead of U.S. Mint.
We are quite wealthy.
Uh-huh. That's like saying Scarface had a gun collection. You think this Dr. Langley is after your aunt's money, is that it?
Yes. He's been taking her to see a clairvoyant, and she claims that he produced her dead mother and that she talked with her.
Maybe she's been getting tips on the market.
My aunt says that this apparition, or whatever it is, warned her of impending danger.
What's the medium's name?
He calls himself Professor Leonardo.
Uh-huh. What else did the ghost have to say?
Well, she said, or it said, to trust Dr. Langley, and that's exactly what my aunt started to do. She even consults him on matters of business. He's completely sold her on this phony Professor Leonardo, and unless I miss my guess, he's got a wandering eye for her jewelry collection. She had it out, and she was showing it to him last evening.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to prove that this Dr. Langley and the professor are charlatans.
Well, in my business, charlatan is a nice word. These guys are either legit or phony. So if you want me to find out, the fee is $100 a day in expenses.
Well, I'll give you a retainer. Is $200 all right?
Have you ever seen 200 that wasn't? What's your aunt's name and address?
Mrs. Myrna Van Dyke, 326 Park Avenue. There's your $200, Mr. Diamond.
Thank you.
If you prove these men are phonies, please report it to my aunt. Then stop by my place, and I'll pay you the rest of your fee. 741 Madison Avenue.
Miss Van Dyke, did you ever model bathing suits?
No, Mr. Diamond. But I have a very nice one. I got it in the south of France last season. I'll show it to you sometime.
I hope it won't be on a hanger. Goodbye, Miss Van Dyke. Well, I had 200 fat clams in my little hot hand, and an assignment that didn't look like it was going to be too tough to crack. I needed some information on the professor and the doctor, so I headed for the 5th Precinct Police Station and Walt Levinson's office.
Yeah, what is... Oh, no. What do you want, Shamus?
Why, Sergeant Otis, what will the lieutenant say when he finds your big feet all over his desk?
He won't say nothing. He ain't here.
Well, how'd you ever figure that out? Where is he?
Out of town.
Doing what?
Doing his vacation, that's what.
Don't tell me he left you in charge.
Yeah. What's the matter with that?
If you've got a few days, I'll tell you about it. Leaving you in charge of homicide is like stopping a leaky faucet with bubble gum.
I ain't in charge of homicide, wise guy, but I could do it if I had to. He just asked me to watch his office and take the call.
He'd get better results with a parrot. Well, I want some information, Sergeant. What do I see?
Me.
I could see more in a barrel of mud.
Now, you better lay off, Gumshoe. I got instructions to throw you out if you get out of line.
Oh, Sergeant, it's nothing personal. You've got beautiful eyes, and, I love all 3 of them. It's just that you're obnoxious.
Well, okay. But you start calling me any nasty names and you go out of here,
Sergeant.
Well, you do. Now, what do you want?
I want your file on bunco artists.
Okay. You come look up some of your relatives?
Oh, that was a real garter snapper, Sergeant.
Yeah, here's the file.
You can do me one more favor. Look up Professor Leonardo. He's a spiritualist.
Oh, drunk, huh? I'll get the file.
Oh, no, Sergeant. In the phone book, he's like a fortune teller.
Oh, one of them guys.
That's right. Wow. Well.
You find something?
Yeah, I was looking for this guy, too.
Let's see. Dr. R.L. Langley, alias Dr. Fred Bishop, alias Dr. Leopold Karnowski. Hey, this guy's been busy. 2 convictions, bunco artist. According to this, the guy goes after old dames and gives them a good fleecing.
You're positively brilliant, Sergeant.
It ain't nothing.
It is when you do it. Did you find the phone number of the professor?
Yeah, right here. Professor Leonardo, fortune teller, and clairvoyant. Okay?
Oh, want to use the phone?
Sure. Only leave a nickel.
I wish I had your nose full of them.
Professor Leonardo's Psychic Sanctuary.
My name's Appleknocker, Harold Appleknocker. I'd like to make an appointment with Professor Leonardo.
Just what seems to be your problem?
Well, you see, it's like this. I have a 1,000-acre hog ranch in Kentucky, and last week my brother Oney got lit up on juniper juice and fell in a waller. It was a pretty deep one, and he done drowned. I was wondering if you could fix it so I could talk with him.
Who recommended you to us?
Ain't nobody recommended nothing. I just looked it up in the phone book.
Well, the professor is rather busy, and his time is expensive. I'm afraid...
Oh, shuckins. I ain't worried about money or nothing. I make $40,000 a year just off in the hogs, not to mention the still I got going back on the hills.
Still?
Yeah, got it camouflaged. Only time a revenuer ever got suspicious was when he saw the moon on the door. It was backwards.
The price is $50 a reading, and $100 if the professor is able to contact your brother.
Fine. I'm going to be busy at the stockyards this afternoon, and I'd like to drop around this evening if I could.
How would 8 o'clock be?
Just dandy.
Goodbye, then, Mr. Appleknocker.
Bye, you all.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm going to have my fortune told, Sergeant. If you want to come along, you can put your shoes if you want to, and come along, John. Come
you're
along.
nuts.
Oh, you're just lonesome. Bye, y'all. I left the 5th Precinct and headed for 975 Park Avenue. The way the case looked to date, I was going to be working that night, and my lovely redhead would be unhappy if she had to sit home. Sometimes you get a case that's fun, and this looked like one of those times, so I decided to take Helen with me to Professor Leonardo's.
Rick, a fortune teller?
Yeah, he brings the dead back, too. Want to go?
If he doesn't dig up some of your old jokes.
Oh, you are a vicious female. Just for that, old Harold Appleknocker is going to show up alone.
Harold Appleknocker?
Yep, raise hogs. You know, this little piggy went to market.
Rick, that tickle.
Don't you and Sergeant Otis ever wear shoes?
Oh, I like to run around in my bare feet. It's hot.
That's only 90. What would you do on the Sahara? Don't answer that.
What time are we due at this spook parlor?
Oh, 8 o'clock. That's 2 hours. In the meantime, let's start a little seance of our own. First, you start by holding hands.
Rick.
Yes. Oh, are you Mr. Appleknocker?
Oh, yep, that's me, and this here's my girl, Little Belle.
Howdy.
Yes. Well, won't you come in? Professor Leonardo isn't back yet, but if you'll just be seated in here, he should be in at any moment.
Well, just look at this here room. What are all them figures all over the wall?
Those are the signs of the zodiac.
Hey, look at there, Harold. That's a goat.
Well, so it is. Bless my little pointed head. Used to raise goats, too, along with the hogs.
That's the professor now. Good evening, Professor.
Good evening. Oh, this must be Mr. Applesucker.
Appleknocker, Professor, and this here's my girl.
Lulu Bell.
Yep, that's right.
Howdy.
Yes. Well, Mr. Appleknocker, I understand you want me to contact your dear departed brother.
Well, he wasn't so dear, but he sure done departed. Fell in a pig waller.
Of course. Now, if you'll just take these chairs around this table.
Where do you want him to go?
No. I mean, sit in them. You right here, Mr. Appleknocker, and you right next to him,
Lulu Bell.
Yes, Lulu Bell.
Howdy.
Yes, howdy. I mean, if you please, turn off the light.
Yes, Professor.
Hey, Lulu Bell.
Yeah?
This is fun, ain't it?
Yeah.
Now, I must have complete silence, please. Did you laugh, Miss,
Lulu Bell?
Yes, Lulu Bell.
Howdy.
Never mind. Now, silence, please. I'm going into a trance. I call to the world beyond. I wish to speak to the spirit of only Applehanger.
Appleknocker.
Correction, the name is Appleknocker.
Lulu Bell.
Howdy.
I feel your presence. Who are you, spirit? Speak.
I'm only Appleknocker.
Well, Oni, how the deuce are you?
Please, you break the contact.
Well, ain't it okay if I ask him a few questions?
It's not the usual procedure, but we seem to be establishing a precedent tonight. Go ahead.
Hey, Oni, you remember Lulu Bell, don't you?
Yeah, howdy, Lulu Bell.
I'm very happy to make your acquaintance again, Oni.
Mr. Appleknocker, you must not laugh at the spirits.
The Applehunker.
Apple Honker.
And Lulabelle.
Yes, I know.
Howdy.
Now, wait just a moment. What's going on here? Turn on the lights.
What's the matter?
These two people are laughing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Professor. But I think you've been taken for that well-known ride.
You mean this is some kind of a practical joke?
I don't know how practical it is, but it sure got a laugh.
Professor, that accent.
Yeah, they went out when poor Oni jumped up from the pig waller.
Oh, I see. Well, look here, young man. I don't see the humor, and it's going to cost you just $100 for this laugh.
Oh, it is, huh?
Yes, or you're going to walk out of here on crutches.
That's the funniest thing you said all night.
What do you want, anyway?
I just wanted to find out how phony you were. Now, you ought to be ashamed taking advantage of old ladies like Mrs. Van Dyke.
Professor.
Shut up. Who are you?
The name's Diamond. Look me up sometime. I'm in the phone book under detectives. Come on, Helen. I've got to go see the old girl and wise her up to this louse. Helen and I left the professor and his witch and went out on the street. I hailed a cab and put Helen in it and sent her home to wait for me. 20 minutes later, I was ringing the doorbell of the Van Dyke residence. I stopped ringing and tried my knuckles, and that's when I noticed that the door was ajar. I pushed it open and walked in. I stopped cold in my tracks. The hair on my neck jumped off and hid in the corner. Lying on the bed was what looked like a body. I couldn't tell because it was covered with a sheet. I was sure of one thing. Whatever it was bleeding all over the place, and the first word that came to my mind was murder. I pulled the sheet back and took a look at what could only have been Mrs. Myrna Van Dyke. She was about 60, and she was wearing a quilted housecoat. She didn't have to worry about trying to button it, because it was pinned together at the neck with a long knife.
Well, Diamond, you sure can dig 'em up, can't you?
Huh? Oh, Otis, how did you get here?
After you left the station, I called Lieutenant and told him you'd been in and you was acting screwy. He told me to tell you. Now, I'm glad I did.
Oh, mess, isn't it?
Yeah, stabbed in the throat. Looks like she was getting ready for bed. That's a towel around her head, ain't it?
Could be her hair, but I doubt it. It says Adams Hotel on it.
Let's take a look around.
Oh, hey, get a load of this.
What?
Over here on the dressing table.
Hey, ain't that a wig?
It sure is. I want to look at the body again.
You can't do that. You ain't supposed to touch anything.
I'm just taking off this towel. Well.
She's bald.
Yep, nearly. Otis, check on Professor Leonardo and Dr. Langley.
They the guys you picked out of the Rogues Gallery this morning?
Yeah.
I already did. The doc lives on Charles Street, apartment 209.
You mean you did all that by your little lonesome?
Well, when I talked to the lieutenant, he told me to, just in case.
You continually amaze me, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Now call the wagon and get the coroner over here. Then get some of the boys to pick up the phony professor.
Where you going?
Over to the good doctor's house. The body's been dead about an hour. That would make it between 7 and 8. Now, you see if the professor's got an alibi, and I'll check back here.
Hey, I don't know whether I'll let you go or not.
Sergeant.
Yeah?
Bye. I went out and grabbed another cab for Charles Street. It was dark out, and the heavy fog was rolling in and staking a claim on the city. By the time I reached the doctor's, it was thick enough to be sliced up and sold in large economy cartons. The doc didn't answer my knock, so I went in anyway. I stumbled into a little two-room joint that looked like a chick sales architectural achievement. The doctor was not home, and neither were his clothes and toothbrush, so I started casing. I tore the place apart and came up with a big fat 0, but that was before I looked in the wastepaper basket. Among the trash, I found a rental bill for a hangar and an airplane at the flyaway airport on Long Island. I grabbed the phone and called Sergeant Otis.
Yeah?
Otis, this is Diamond.
Oh, the boys are here now. You were right about the time of death, around 7:30.
What about the professor?
We sent a car over to pick him up, but he skipped. We got some dame, though, and she told us that the prof was giving one of them C answers from 7 to 8.
Did you check it?
Yeah, and you was.
Good. Now check and see who gets the dead woman's money in the event of her death.
Well, how am I going to find her lawyer at this time of night?
Just find him and meet me at the flyaway airport on Long Island.
Okay. Did you get the doctor?
That's what I'm going to do now. And if this fog keeps up, I've still got a good chance. Sometimes a case starts off like a party and ends up like a funeral. This was one of those times, and when it happens, you're never really prepared for it, so you've got to work fast. I used my last $10, besides the $200 the girl had given me, and got to Flyaway Airport in a hurry. The fog was so heavy, I had to almost kick it aside, but I finally found a row of hangars and started looking.
I reached the last hangar when I spotted the plane. It was sitting on the strip, and as I moved nearer, I could see the man.
Who's there? Who is that?
I got a gun out, Doctor, so just stand the way you are.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want that little suitcase you've got. I want to take you back to the police.
Police? Oh, what on earth for?
Mrs. Van Dyke is dead, been murdered.
Oh.
Oh, now come on, stop that.
Why, I know nothing about the killing. I swear I had nothing to do with it.
What's in that suitcase?
Why, just some clothes.
Not the Van Dyke collection of jewels?
Of course not. What would I want with them?
Miss Nancy Van Dyke seemed to think you did.
Oh, that's absurd. Here, you can look at the bag if you like, sir.
Well, I'd like. Let's take a walk over here where we can see some light.
If you insist.
Where were you between 7 and 8 this evening, Doctor?
Why, I was at home.
Now, you're a two-time loser. If you're lying, they'll wash your mouth for 20 years.
You know about my record, do you?
Looked it up this afternoon.
Well, I suppose I may as well tell you. I wasn't home until nearly 8.
Where were you?
Mrs. Van Dyke's apartment. I was supposed to put her jewels in the downstairs vault.
What happened?
She was dead when I got there.
You sure she was dead?
Yes. She was lying on the bed under a sheet. Pulled it back, so she'd been stabbed in the throat. I left, packed, came out here. I knew I'd be accused, but I didn't do it.
Hold it. Here's the light. Well, if the jewels are in this bag, you're going to be in a tough spot.
You're welcome to look.
Thanks, loads. Oh! Whatever it was, it caught me across the back of the head, and I went down like a dead palm tree in a hurricane. It wasn't the doctor who had lowered the boom, but someone who had sneaked up in the fog and gotten around behind me. I wasn't knocked out, and I could still hear things, so I just lay there and listened.
Oh, thank goodness you came along. He was going to take me to the police because someone had killed Mrs. Van Dyke and stolen her jewels. He thought I had them. What are you doing? No! No!
I rolled over and looked at the doctor. He was very dead. I got up as fast as I could and started after the killer, but in that fog, it was like looking for a hangnail in a mine shaft. I went into one hangar after another, and I guess if you keep after it long enough, sometimes you get lucky. I went into the last hangar and stopped to listen. Okay, you, come on out. If I have to come in after you, it's going to be the hard way. Well, you're the boss. Now, why don't you stop it? You can't see me any better than I can see you, but I've got the door covered. Now, come on out. If I guess right, that's one big sergeant, and he's so stupid he's liable to shoot you.
Diamond! Diamond, where are you?
In here, Otis. Watch your step. We're playing cops and robbers.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh, stop.
You all right, Otis?
Yeah, but this cement's hard.
Crawl over here.
Okay. Hey, who's shooting?
Well, one of two people. Just shot Dr. Langley back on the airstrip.
Yeah? Why don't you blast him?
I guess I'll have to. He doesn't want to come out. Otis, crawl over about 12 feet and make him shoot.
Me?
Yeah, I ought to get a good line on him. He's behind those oil drums, and I've got to stand up to do it.
Oh, all right. Hey, Diamond, now?
Yes, Otis, now. Okay, like I said, you're the boss.
I've been hit.
Come on, Otis.
Good shooting.
Glad you liked it. Well, how about you, Professor?
I'm not happy. I got all 3 of them.
He won't be around long.
Why did you hit me, and why did you kill the doctor?
I wanted the bag. I thought the jewels were in it.
Aren't they?
No, I opened it back here. I thought the doctor was double-crossing me.
Well, if you ain't got the jewels, why'd you try to kill the old lady?
I didn't.
Oh, come on. This ain't no time to lie.
He isn't lying, Otis. You told me yourself his alibi was good.
Hey, that's right. Then who did?
The one who would benefit most by the death of the woman. The one who had a perfect setup because 2 con artists could be blamed for it. Let's go.
Yeah, what about this guy? How do you feel, Professor? Oh.
Like I said, Otis, you keep. Come on, let's go.
Well, hello, Mr. Diamond. You come to see the bathing suit?
I hope it comes in stripes.
What?
This is Sergeant Otis, homicide.
Has someone been killed?
Your aunt.
Oh, no.
Isn't that touching, Sergeant?
Yeah.
For that horrible doctor. Oh, you've got to arrest him.
Why would he want to do it?
Why, for the jewels, of course.
Now, put your hat on. You must have known that the doctor was going to get the jewels tonight, so you killed your aunt, knowing he'd get there and wouldn't have an alibi.
Why, you're insane.
The trouble was, he got so scared he ran off without him. So he had no motive.
That it was the professor.
Strike two. He didn't have them either.
You're crazy. You can't prove a thing. I didn't stab my aunt.
Who said she was stabbed?
Well, I just...
Something else tipped me to you. The minute I took a good look at your aunt, I knew it couldn't have been a man who'd done the job.
Why not? You're just presuming.
Because there were no signs of a struggle. Your aunt must have known the killer pretty well.
She knew the doctor very well.
Well enough to meet him with a towel around her head and her wig in plain sight on the dresser?
What?
Yeah. And I got in touch with a lawyer, and he said you was the sole heir to the estate.
Were, Sergeant.
Oh, yeah. You were the sole heir, and I'm arresting you because I were there and saw the wig.
Rick, wasn't it fun at the fortune teller?
Yeah, he's going to have to think up a new racket. Like contacting the living.
What?
No, forget it. What's to eat?
I'll go look in the icebox.
Bring some milk, will you, dear?
Mm-hmm. If you'll play something.
I'll try.
Oh, no, not again!
Oh, swell. Can't you get on the night shift or something?
I can't get anything around here, especially sleep. Now, please, will you kindly shut your big fat face?
What do you mean? I haven't sung anything yet.
Oh, but you will. I just know you will.
Well, if you insist.
Oh, no, please, please. I'm a nervous man.
Oh, it calms you right down. Don't blame me for falling in love with you. I'm under your spell, but how can I help it? Don't blame me. Can't you see when you do the things you do? If I can't conceal the thrill that I'm feeling, don't blame me.
Oh, that's pretty. Don't stop.
Oh, I must. Food looks too good.
Did I hear you talking to someone?
Mm-hmm. Listen. Don't blame me for falling in love with you.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, that's funny. He was there a minute ago. Don't blame me for falling in love with you.
I still don't hear anything. Rick, who are you calling?
Sergeant Otis. I'm afraid the guy next door just cut his throat.
You have just heard Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell. Helen was played by Virginia Gregg. Also in our cast were Wilms Herbert, Ted Osborne, Peggy Weber, and Jack Crucian. Music was under the direction of Frank Worth. Richard Diamond is written by Blake Edwards and directed by Richard Sandville. And now, Dick Powell.
Friends, I want to remind you of the wonderful group of programs NBC has on tap for tomorrow afternoon and evenings. Shows like Hollywood Calling, Guy Lombardo, Four-Star Playhouse, and the Ethel Merman Show. For the best in radio listening tomorrow and always, keep your dial turned to your favorite NBC station.
Dick Powell soon will be seen in the screen version of the best-selling novel, Mrs. Mike. Now, this is Eddie King inviting you to be with us again at this same time next week when we will again bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective. This program has come to you from Hollywood. Theater Guild on the Air returns tomorrow night on NBC.
The makers of Camel Cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective. What's America's most popular cigarette?
Camel. Buy billions of cigarettes per year.
Two of the important reasons why Camel is so popular are flavor and mildness. Camel's choice tobaccos are properly aged and skillfully blended to give you a smoke that's rich in flavor. And mildness? Here's conclusive proof.
In a coast-to-coast test, hundreds of men and women smoked only Camels for 30 days. Leading throat specialists made careful weekly examinations of the throats of those smokers and reported
not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Here's a suggestion. Make your own Camel 30-day test. Smoke only Camels for the next 30 days. You'll enjoy Camel's rich, full flavor. And your throat will tell you how mild Camels are.
How mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here transcribed is Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Diamond Detective Agency, we deal in crime, but we're closed now. It's Christmas time. Hello there, this is Diamond. Every year about this time, my business takes a big nosedive. People usually pack up their troubles and start unpacking colored lights and Christmas tree ornaments. So tonight, I'm going to tell you my favorite Christmas story, one I always like to tell. A Christmas Carol by Mr. Charles Dickens. Now, I'd better explain something first. This version isn't exactly the way you've always heard it. Because of the particular type of characters I usually get mixed up with, this story is written to fit their talents and characteristics. Different from the Dickens original, certainly, but we feel that this story could easily happen today, anywhere. Like right here in New York on a little side street just off the Bowery. So now I'd like to introduce our characters. Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge will be played by my good friend and guiding hand of the 5th Precinct Homicide Division.
Lieutenant Walter Levinson.
Walter.
Otis.
The character of Jacob Marley will be played by one of Lieutenant Levinson's most trusted henchmen.
Otis, that's you. Huh? Oh, Sergeant Otis Loveloon.
Loveloon. Oh.
Walt.
Oh, sorry, Alan.
Tiny Tim will be played by our corner newsboy.
Hi, I'm Johnny Rollins.
Tiny Tim's mother will be played by my red-headed gal friend,
Helen Asher.
The rest of the characters will be played by members of the 5th Precinct Police Station.
Officer O'Reilly.
Officer Leskowitz.
Sergeant Miller.
The music will be furnished by the 5th Precinct Police Band, directed by Patrolman Worth.
Hi.
And now, our version of the Christmas classic, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Once upon a time, there was a nasty old guy named Ebenezer Scrooge. He was nasty, all right. He didn't like anything, except maybe all the dough he could get his hands on. Scrooge had a little business that he started with his partner, Jacob Marley. The outfit was known as Scrooge and Marley Loan Company. But one day, poor old Marley just up and keeled over. So the boys along the big street gave him a nice funeral, and old man Scrooge took over the business. Well, Marley had been dead for 7 years, and Scrooge lived alone in his little room over the office, and for a hobby, he hated everybody. He had a young guy working for him named Bob Cratchit. Bob had a wife and 4 kids and made just enough to make ends meet. Scrooge used to ride him all the time. When it got so cold the polar bears complained, Cratchit would turn on the little heater and Scrooge would say,
Cratchit, what do you think you're doing?
Turning on the heat, that's what I'm doing. My fingers look like popsicles.
I don't care if they come in 6 delicious flavors. Every time you turn on that heater, it costs me money. Business is not good, so get back to your work. And turn off the heat.
Oh, now look, Mr. Scrooge, I'm freezing. This pen ain't guaranteed to ride under ice.
I'm telling you once more, get back to your work.
Okay, but I don't know why you worry about business. Why not just put up a sign and turn the joint into a skating rink? Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Oh, swell. Merry Christmas. Ah, humbug.
Humbug?
Yes, humbug. My old man didn't like Christmas, and that's what he used to say, humbug.
Okay, humbug. It's still Christmas, and I don't see where you get off not liking it. This is supposed to be the time everybody gets with it. Everything stops. It ain't much good, and you put your arm around the next guy and you tell him Merry Christmas.
I'm going to put my arm around you with a hammer on the end of it if you don't lay off this goodwill stuff.
Look, what's with you? What have you got against Christmas?
You showed me a way to make $100 every Christmas, and I'll fall in love with it. You want me to be merry?
Well, sure.
Then go get some of those joyous clients of mine to pay off their loans. Merry Christmas. Humbug!
Okay, then, humbug. But it's still cold in here. Have some icicles, but give them back after the holidays. They're my fingers.
Late that evening, Scrooge went upstairs to his room, the room where Jacob Marley used to stay. It was dark in the little hall, and when Scrooge reached for the door, he looked up at the big brass knocker and saw...
Holy cow. Could have sworn that was old Jake's face in the knocker. I must be working too hard.
So in he went. A little shaky after seeing Jake Marley's face, but he just passed it off his nerves. He closed the door and locked it, then got a fire going and started to relax. But every tile around the fireplace started looking like Jake Marley's face.
Oh, now come on, old boy. You gotta get hold of yourself. This is ridiculous. I haven't touched a drop in weeks.
He got up and walked around the room a few times, then went back and sat down again. He stretched, rested his head on the back of the chair. From somewhere a bell started chiming, and Scrooge sat straight up in his chair. He heard something else, too, something from downstairs.
What the? Oh, now what is that? What's going on here? Who's that? Come on, who's out there?
And all of a sudden, it came right out through the wall.
All right, sit still, Scrooge.
Marley. Jake Marley. Oh, no. I gotta stop eating lobster. Ooh, it couldn't be. What's with you? Who are you?
Jake Marley. Who else?
You're dead.
The deadest. But nevertheless, Jake Marley.
His ghost.
Oh, you are very sharp today, Scrooge, old boy.
I don't believe it.
You got eyes, ain't you?
Yeah, and I got a bad stomach, too. That's who you are. Nothing but a bad case of indigestion.
You don't think I'm a ghost, huh? Okay. Maybe a good scale change your mind.
No. Stay away from me. All right. I believe you.
You sold on the idea?
Yeah. But why did you come to see me?
Regulations. Every man's supposed to live his life and help his buddies. If he don't do it while he's alive, then he gotta do it after he kicks off.
Oh, cut it out! Why come to me?
Because you're gonna end up just like me, unless we do something in a hurry. Now, I haven't got much time, so you better listen.
Oh, I don't want to be like you. I'll listen.
Okay. You are gonna have 3 visitors. You are gonna be haunted by 3 spirits.
Oh, no.
It is the only way you can keep from being like me. When you hear the bell strike 1, the first one will be here. Well, I gotta be going. You won't see me again, but you remember what I told you. So long, Scrooge, old boy. Your goosebumps can relax now.
Cut it out!
After the ghost took off, Scrooge just refused to believe it.
Nuts. It's ridiculous. Humbug.
Then he climbed into the sack and was soon snoring up a storm. When Scrooge awoke, it was still dark, and the bell from the church on 53rd Street was striking 12. He lay awake listening and thinking to himself.
Just a dream. Ghosts.
Finally, he dropped off again and slept for about an hour. Then the bell struck 1.
1 o'clock. I don't see no ghost. I knew it was something I ate.
All of a sudden, a big light flashed in the room, and the first of the spirits stood before him.
Oh, Jake was right. Are you the first spirit that Jake said had come to haunt me?
Yeah, you know it.
Well, who are you?
Me? I'm the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah? How long past?
Your past. Come on. We're gonna take a little ride.
Well, where are we going?
Just relax. I'm running this tour.
Well, let me get my pants.
You got 'em.
Oh, they're on me.
With that, the ghost of Christmas past grabbed Scrooge by the hand, and they both flew out of the window. Scrooge nearly lost his upper plate, but before he could yell for help, he was standing in front of a dirty, ramshackle old tenement building.
You know where you are?
Sure, I know where I am. This is where I was brought up. Even the garbage cans are the same.
You had a pretty tough time when you were a kid, didn't you?
The toughest? I wasn't very big. The rest of the kids in the neighborhood were. I had more black eyes than a crow.
You want to go in?
What for?
To see your folks.
My folks died a long, long time ago.
They're there now. Come on.
Well, the ghost took old Scrooge into the building and showed him a Christmas, years past, when he was a child with his family. Sure, it was tough living in 2 little rooms like that, but Scrooge remembered how wonderful it really was.
What's the matter, Scrooge?
Huh? Oh, I've got something in my eye.
You were pretty lonely when your folks... when they,
Yeah. You know, there was a young kid that came around earlier this evening and sang some carols. Gee, I wish...
Yeah? What do you wish?
Oh, nothing.
Come on. I want to show you another Christmas.
The spirit showed him another Christmas, and still another. And you know, no matter how tough Scrooge remembered his childhood had been, it always seemed that Christmas was wonderful. And then before he knew it, Scrooge was back in his little room, and the spirit was gone. Scrooge was pretty beat. He climbed into bed and dropped into a heavy sleep.
Merry Christmas. What's that? It's 2 o'clock. Hey, that light in the other room. I got burglars.
Hey, Scrooge, come on in.
Who's that? What are you doing in the other room?
Come on in and take a look. It's pretty nifty.
Hey, what is this? What have you done to the room? Looks like Macy's window. Where'd you get all the holly and the mistletoe? And how did you get in here?
Do you like it?
Oh, for Pete's sake, a Christmas tree. Who are you?
The ghost of Christmas present. Now, don't tell me you don't like the way I fix things up. I work pretty hard.
Oh, second ghost. Okay, take me wherever you want to go, but believe me, next time I try the train.
Let's go. Now what do you see?
I see bright colored lights, people having a lot of fun, kids on sleighs.
See that building over there? The one with the big reef on the front door?
Yeah, that's where Bob Cratchit lives. He works for me. Hey, look, there's Bob now.
Yeah, going into the house. Up all those stairs to the 5th floor. He's got his little boy on his back.
Tiny Tim.
Yeah. He got polio last summer. Pretty sick with a boy.
I know. Bob said he'd need a lot of care if he was ever going to walk again.
Come on, let's take a peek.
Hi.
Hello, honey. You and Tim have a good time?
The best. Didn't we, Tim?
Yeah, Dad. We watched all the kids in the block on their sleds. Mom, will I ever be able to ride a sled?
Of course, Tim. Won't he, dear?
Well, sure thing, Roughneck. Next Christmas, you'll be out there doing belly whoppers with the rest of them.
Dad, what's the matter? Your eyes are all wet.
Nothing, Tim. I just got some snow in them.
You want some chicken, Tim?
No turkey?
No, but lots of cranberries.
Okay. Can I sit next to you, Dad?
You just bet.
Bob, will you say grace, dear?
Can I say something first, Mom?
Of course, Tim. What would you like to say?
God bless us, everyone.
What's the matter, Scrooge, old boy? Got some snow in your eyes, too?
Tell me something.
Sure, if I can.
What about Tiny Tim?
Well, can't say for sure. If his old man makes enough money next year to get the White Doctor, little Tim will get along just fine. But times are tough, aren't they, Scrooge?
Yeah.
Now the spirit of Christmas present took Scrooge to many places and showed him a lot of happiness and a lot of misery. And finally back to his little room, and the spirit was gone.
Oh, I don't know whether I can take much more of this.
Then a new ghost drifted in. This was the worst yet. He was really done up for haunting. He was all dressed in black with one arm sticking out and pointing right at poor old Scrooge. This was the last one of the spirits. Scrooge's knees sounded like castanets on a reducing machine.
Okay, you don't have to tell me. You're the ghost of the Christmas that hasn't come yet. You I'm really scared of.
The ghost took off with Scrooge right after him. The city disappeared, and Scrooge found himself on the outskirts of town, standing in the graveyard. The night was howling like it was mad, and as Scrooge looked down, he saw...
Hey, what's this? What's this stone?
The black spirit stood still and pointed, so Scrooge leaned down, pulled away the bushes, and saw it was a tombstone.
There's a name here. Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, no. No. Look at this. Believe me, I don't want this. I know I've done wrong, but I'm not kidding. I really know what Christmas means. It doesn't mean just today or tomorrow. It's every day of your life. I swear I'll do better. Only take me away from this. Let me try. Let me try to make Christmas right for me and for everybody else. Please, don't let this happen. Give me another chance. Well, don't just stand there. Put your arm back in. You'll catch cold. Well, say something.
Suddenly, Scrooge dropped to his knees and reached out for the spirit. But something happened. The spirit started to shrink. Then it collapsed. And when Scrooge looked up...
What the... My bedpost. My own bedpost. I'm home. Oh, thank goodness. I lived the past, the present, and the future, and now I'm home. Hallelujah! Spirit, wherever you are, believe me, from now on, things are going to be different. Oh, yeah, and thanks.
Paper, get your morning paper.
Hey, boy!
Yeah?
What day is this?
It's Christmas. What's with you?
Christmas! Oh, boy, I haven't missed it. The spooks did it all in one night. Boy!
Oh, it's you, Mr. Scrooge.
How many papers you got?
I don't know.
Well, here's $5. $5. Throw them away and then go have yourself a Merry Christmas.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Scrooge. And a Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, boy, say that again.
Thanks.
No, the other.
Oh, you mean Merry Christmas?
Yeah, that's it. Merry Christmas.
Okay, I'm coming. What's the matter with you? Can't you see the store's closed? Look, mister, the store is... Ebenezer Scrooge.
Merry Christmas, Barney.
You been drinking?
Not a drop. Well, what's the matter? Ain't you going to wish me a Merry Christmas?
Oh, sure, Sure. Come on in. The wife's upstairs with her mother, but I got a bottle in the back.
Look, Barney, I know your grocery store is closed, but you could still sell me a turkey, couldn't you?
What do you want a turkey for? You've been eating at the automat every Christmas for the last 7 years.
It's not for me.
Oh, then who's the bird for?
Bobby Cratchit, you know, the young guy that works for me.
Oh, yeah? How much you gonna charge him?
Yeah, here's $20, huh? Here's the address. And listen, don't tell Cratchit who sent the thing, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Merry Christmas, Barney.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Well, old Scrooge went back to his rooms and took an old blue suit out of the mothballs. He shook it out, put a few creases in it, and went out on the street. The old boy was really with it. Everybody he passed, he greeted them with,
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
He went to church and gave a large donation, and Father McCarthy nearly forgot his sermon. Yes, for the first time in his life, Scrooge was having a Merry Christmas and arrived early at his office. If he could just catch Cratchit coming in late, and he did. Bob was a good 21 minutes late.
Cratchit!
Oh, no.
You're 21 minutes late.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mr. Scrooge. I had a big evening.
Oh, you did, huh? You know what I told you if I caught you fancy-footing it in here late again.
Okay, so I'm canned.
You think you got it coming?
Well, I'm too tired to argue. Jobs are tough enough, and I hate to lose this one, but I'm just too tired.
A raise would help, huh?
Well, that's the silliest question of the year.
Then you got it. It's in the envelope.
What?
Uh-huh. Maybe after we see how the funds are, we might be able to do something about Tiny Tim.
Well, yeah. I don't get it. A raise? You want to do something about Tim? I don't get it.
Sure you do, Bob. Haven't you heard? It's Christmas. Now go on home, take the day off, take the week off, come back when you feel like it. Merry Christmas.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yeah?
Merry Christmas.
And Scrooge really did it. He was as good as his word, better even. He made it the merriest Christmas ever. And later, things got better, and he took care of Tiny Tim. And sure enough, Tim was out on his sled the next Christmas doing belly whoppers with the best of them. Every Christmas thereafter, all along the big street, it was said, if anyone knew how to make Christmas merry, old Ebenezer Scrooge was that one.
And I hope that can really be said about all of us. Just like Tiny Tim said.
God bless us, everyone.
That's it, Tim. God bless us, everyone.
Oh, Rick, that was a wonderful story. Not quite the way Dickens wrote it, but it meant the same thing.
Well, thanks, Helen, dear. I thought you were good as Tiny Tim's mother, too, didn't you, Walt?
I sure did, and that's no humbug.
What in the world was that?
It's Sergeant Otis. He's still playing Marley. Otis!
Yeah, Ebenezer?
Oh, cut it out, Otis. The play's over. Go on, call officers Riley, Lund, and Miller, all of them. Tell them to leave the punch bowl and come over here. We're going to sing.
Oh, boy, I'll lead off. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
No, Otis. Rick will lead. We can join in later.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Go on, Rick.
Otis, stop breathing down my neck.
I'm just waiting to come in.
Otis.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Snow falling down from heaven, making a mantle of white. Sleigh bells are ringing, wonderful Christmas night.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
No, not yet, Otis.
Voices that sing Hosanna, bathed in a heavenly light. Everyone happy, wonderful Christmas night.
Otis,
Peace on earth, goodwill toward men. Otis, stop crying. Life on earth begins again. Joy in the hearts of children, there in the trees, candlelight, all making merry, wonderful Christmas night.
Now, Lieutenant?
No, Otis.
Oh, let him sing, Walt. Come on, everybody.
Oh, boy. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Right here is where all the men and women who make the camels you smoke would like to wish each and every one of you the happiest of holiday seasons.
And right now might also be a good time to remind you that there's still plenty of time to add Camels to your Christmas shopping list. Camels by the carton are so easy to give. Camels come in a beautifully decorated holiday package, so handsomely designed that you don't even have to wrap it. Just write your personal greetings on the card that's on the top of every special Camel Christmas carton.
And Camels are such a pleasure to receive. It's the cigarette enjoyed most in America. The cigarette that leads all other brands in popularity by billions of cigarettes per year.
So you can't go wrong by giving mild, flavorful Camels.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with another special message.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, every week the makers of Camels send thousands of packs of Camels to service hospitals. That's to help show hospitalized men and women of the armed forces that those at home haven't forgotten them. This week's free Camels go to Veterans Hospitals, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and Amarillo, Texas. Nellis Air Force Hospital, Las Vegas, Nevada. U.S. Naval Hospital, Naval Medical Center, Guam, Marianas Islands. Now, until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Dick Powell can now be seen starring in the Universal International film You Never Can Tell. Tonight's transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond was written by Blake Edwards with music by Frank Worth. Our director was Nat Wolfe. Virginia Gregg played the part of Helen Asher, and Alan Reed was Lieutenant Levinson. Others in the cast were Barney Phillips, Arthur Q. Bryan, Jack Crucian, Joel Samuels, and Jeffrey Silver.
Are there pipe smokers on your Christmas list? There's still time to make them a present of pipeful after pipeful of the National Joy Smoke, Prince Albert. The Prince Albert 1-pound tin comes in a special Christmas box ready to give. There's a space right on it for your personal greeting. Give Prince Albert.
The bite is out and the pleasure's in when you smoke Prince Albert. It's specially treated not to bite your tongue. The bite is out and the pleasure's in.
Listen next week for another exciting adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is Your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.